Certainly there is an utter devotion that comes across in Barocci's altarpieces.
He was a very devout man himself. For him, there was no separation between his art and devotion.
When one looks at either the theological debates of the time or the biblical accounts of these stories, one is impressed with how closely he adheres to these very complicated, sometimes sophisticated ideas. But he couches them in the everyday, even though his specific figures are highly idealized. He sort of gets the way people behave. Barocci's Madonna del Gatto presents a very young, youthful Virgin Mary. She's rather smiling, rather vulnerable. She's in the act of nursing her young baby. There is something so serenely domestic about it.
The one thing he really excelled at was making the sacred look really agreeable and pleasant and convincing as something that was above our world, was sacred, was more beautiful, more heavenly than anything we could understand.
One of the features that makes the Madonna del Gatto particularly enchanting is the reference to the architecture of the ducal palace, and that's the little window seat or bench with its slightly flaring leg.
Barocci included objects from the real world in these very mystical pictures as a way of bringing them down to earth, introducing things with which people were very familiar, like earthenware pots, and of course he caught every nuance of the glaze across its surface. He often included little tableaux vivants in the foreground, even of quite a dramatic scene like the entombment. There'd be a rock with the pliers and the nails, all done with this wonderful sense of naturalism and tactility, always the tactile, so that you almost feel you could go and pick them up yourself. He often introduced animals into pictures as a kind of light aside from the deep impact of the gospel. I think this sort of love of animals and children as well was all very much part of Barocci's very kind of humane nature. He loved to animate his pictures with these things that he himself had glimpsed in everyday life.